In this video, I'm going to be ranking YouTube's favorite cryptocurrencies, giving my own opinion on where I think they're going to go in terms of a price prediction from where they are right now. As well as that, I'm going to explain exactly why they are YouTube's favorite coin and why you should perhaps be a little bit cautious about what you're hearing on this magical platform that is YouTube. Hit the like button and let's get into it. Now guys, just before we dive into the excitement of ranking your favorite coins, which I know really gets everyone a bit pumped up, especially me, we're going to look at where we are right now on this particular chart. You can see the 350-day moving average through the middle, and last time in 2019 we bottomed out. We had a COVID crash, little thing that maybe you've forgotten about already, and then from there we ran into a bull market. Right now we've broken up above 350 daily moving average. We're now retesting it and could potentially be rolling into a bull market at any minute in my opinion, but I could be wrong, so be cautious. So what we're going to be doing is ranking some of these coins you've got down below, and because it's a Sunday and because let's be a little bit more interesting, I've ranked them in terms of YouTubers, famous crypto YouTubers. At the top, Coin Bureau, the daddy, okay? This guy makes some pretty solid content, which I think you'll agree with me if you've been in crypto at all, has the biggest YouTube channel. More recently, Virtual Bacon come out of nowhere, really enjoying his content as well. Ben Cowan in the middle, the beige man, not necessarily the most interesting and exciting. Oh, well, that's unfair. He is interesting, but definitely not the most exciting. Sharing with us his bearish sentiment from day to day, which, you know, is worth taking on board, especially if you are kind of bullish like me. It's always nice to have a bit of balance. Down below, we got Carl the Moon, who's usually busy sharing with you just how much money he made from his Bybit deals back in the last bull market. And then at the bottom, we've got BitBoy Crypto, who's having a bit of a midlife crisis. So let's just take it. These coins at the top have a good risk to reward ratio. Down the bottom, we have far more risk than the reward. Okay, now I hear you asking, why are these favorite coins, or why do these coins always appear on YouTube? If you're already subscribed to my channel, then maybe I've touched on this before. The aim of the YouTuber out there, believe it or not, is to get more views. Why? Because if I get more views, I'll make more money. But personally, I like to build a community on trust because ultimately it's better for the longer term health of my channel and stuff like that. So what I'm going to show you, if you go to the analytics page of my studio, which obviously you're not going to be able to do, but I'm going to show you, the research tells me that your viewers are searching for Jasmy, Casper, HBAR, Quant, Pepe Coin, Near Protocol, Solana, VRA, Gala, Casper, ICP, XDC, Render Token, blah, 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 Miria, GFAL. Oh, I wonder why people are making videos about this content. They must be sponsored. Guys, come on. It's not this. The people who are saying it's sponsored content just don't have channels that are big enough yet to realize that this research, just haven't been in the game long enough to realize that this research page exists here. Look, content gap on Near Protocol. Maybe I'll make a video about Near Protocol next, mainly because I haven't. So here we are back at stage 1, okay? Or back at this part. Now, what we've got, bunch of tokens, and various other images which I've accidentally included in here. So what we're going to look at in terms of where coins are and what things are going to be moving forward. Now, first of all, we're going to start with Bitcoin because no one is really talking about Bitcoin. And I'm going to stick Bitcoin in Ben Cowan, good old reliable Ben Cowan. Why is Bitcoin good old reliable? Well, guys, it's the start of the bull market, and if you don't believe it's the start, then you will have to imagine that the start's coming later on. And what moves first in the start of crypto? Well, if you look at this path to altcoin season chart here, then you'll see the Bitcoin moves first. Bitcoin is already up 63% this year, will continue to move first whenever we arrive into our full-blown bull market. That Bitcoin ETF jazz all gets approved. Are we going to see massive gains? I think the very top, Bitcoin has the potential to see 120, maybe even 150k if everything goes to plan and it's like a really juicy bull market, which everyone's anticipating anyway. What does that mean for us? Well, from current prices, it's about 27,000 or just give or take 27,000 today. So you're looking around 4x, maybe, if Bitcoin goes to plan. 4x, okay? And let's be honest, the risk level on that is significantly lower, okay? Because if it does go down, maybe it dips to 10k, eventually it's going to come back higher than it is now. So the risk is really minimal. Obviously, in my opinion, not financial advice, blah, 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 blah. Now, what we got next. Now, I made a video about Chainlink just a few days ago because a lot of whales have been accumulating it recently, but I did point out that the market cap is currently sat at like $4.1 billion with a B, okay? So realistically, can it go much bigger than a 10 to 15x? Probably not, but that's like still a crazy rate of return, okay? Which many people are like, oh no, No, I want to make bigger money. If you put in 10 grand into Chainlink and you wait for like 2 years and you cash out for 100 grand, I think you'd be fairly happy, okay? Whereas all the other cloud chasers will be chasing God knows what, and they'll probably end up with nothing. As we know, Chainlink, real world assets, it's doing a lot of stuff, being accumulated by whales, phenomenal coin, phenomenal piece of tech, really, really essential moving into a Web3 environment. Cardano, I know this is going to get a lot of hate, but it's just so uninteresting, okay? I mean, a lot of them could just get put into the Ben Cowan area. Cardano probably will do all right. Again, you're probably going to see at max like a 10x, massive market cap, hugely competitive space in there. Like I just find it hard to see how it's going to kind of fit into that kind of layer 1 space when it's obviously its main competitor is Ethereum. And then if you were like, oh, well, yeah, but it operates more effectively and efficiently and whatever, then you would choose other layer 1s out there, Solanas, Caspers, H-bars, etc. So yeah, not massively hyped up and excited about it. Now here's another one that's going to get a real bad bit of flack. Now I'm going to put XRP down here. And guys, just stick with me, okay? Because I know it's going to upset you. I'm just going to use XRP as an example. XRP is like the coin that has this like moon boy community and everyone thinks it's going to go to being worth millions and millions. Guys, it's got a massive amount. If it truly does have the potential that everyone's talking about, then it's going to be heavily, heavily manipulated. And how do I know that? Well, look what happened, guys. I had a breakout up here. We did a crazy pump like that, and then suddenly it sold off and actually went down below that price even started at one point. Now that effectively tells you that there's big money in the game who are going to use this coin to milk you for everything it's worth, okay? And they just love that Moonboy community just keeps feeding the narrative. Be cautious, guys. I think XRP has, again, potential to see like a 10, maybe a 20x if things go well. But the chances of getting $1,000 coin and stuff like that is beyond imagination, really. Now, another one, guys, that I'm pretty keen on is good old Render token. Now, Render token is pretty popular and has had a good year, which kind of makes me think maybe it would go to a bit virtual bacon, but because it's doing something completely separate, which is on-chain rendering, okay, something completely different from what any other crypto out there is doing, it's also going to be phenomenally important as the growth of gaming happens. I'm very excited about where Render could be going. It's got a market cap of 645 million. Could a 20x or more be possible? Well, absolutely. It does have competition from outside of the crypto space, but its narrative alone is enough to attract people in to the crypto space who want to be involved in something a little bit different out there. I think the growth potential for Render is very, very good. The community is bubbling behind this token right now as well. And who else do I put up in that class is Veracity. Why on earth is Veracity there? Well, guys, I've talked about this before in a few videos, and you'll notice I have been making videos about these different cryptos, mainly because I want to get views, but also because I like these particular coins. Veracity, again, does something very important. If you ever run a digital business and you've tried to do online advertising, then it is really painful when people and bots go and click on your ads all the time to ruin your advertising budget and make sure that you can't compete. Going forward, as more and more advertising goes online, this will be a really essential proof of view or proof of advertising concept. Also, doing lots of stuff in the esports arena, which is growing year on year and is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Veracity, again, has its own little niche, doing something a little bit different, captures the imagination of lots of people. But where is it on the charts? Well, we had that nice break back here just a couple of weeks ago, and I made a video telling you to be very careful after an 87% pump that Veracity would have a good pullback. And if you are concerned about what I mean by these pullbacks, look, since that video, which I made about there, has been launched, it went down nearly 34%. It's now starting to get in. What I'm telling you when I'm like warning Casper or warning Veracity isn't that this coin is a piece of crap and you're not going to make any money. I'm going to tell you that you will, but you need to wait. Because if you get in down here and it gets back to here, you're already 60% up. Whereas if you just FOMO in here, you know, for the next like 3 weeks, you're going to be potentially in the red. We don't want to be in the red, okay? We can be waiting for better opportunities just after nice pullbacks. So when you get big tears like this, guys, have the ability to not FOMO in. Now, XLM, I think, will perform a little bit better than XRP, given that its market cap is significantly smaller, but again, kind of operates in the same space with XRP and performs well when XRP does, and then dumps down when XRP does as well. So again, heavily manipulated, I think, with XRP, so it could be an interesting one, but I think it's doing something very useful. It's in a very interesting space, and, you know, cross-border payment solutions is an essential part of the future, as far as I'm concerned. Now, I have in the past talked about Jasmine, and I have felt very kind of mixed about this coin, and I am starting to feel like maybe it's actually a bit more. Is it a bit boy? Is it a Carl the Moon? I think it's probably a BitBoy, guys, because much like BitBoy, I just don't really trust it, okay? So I do feel like there's potential, but I'm starting to just lack, you know, all these kind of like photos of these people who are apparently in charge of Jasmine, who've come out of Sony and all that stuff, which did sound really good to me earlier on this year. Now just doesn't really fill me with that much hope and excitement, because I'm just not that sure about how legit everything is behind it. I don't necessarily think it's a scam, but I don't think it's necessarily all it's hyped up to be. And one thing that really kind of scares me is a coin that is so hyped up for no real reason also would indicate that perhaps there's people being paid to do that, maybe. And I don't mean like YouTubers paid to do it. I mean like people on Twitter and an army of bots and stuff going after this coin. It just gives me a bit of a bad taste. And guys, you're welcome to go and sledge me in the comments for like, you know, stuff you don't agree with, because I know this particular stuff gets people really upset, because I know lots of people think of these coins like they're, you know, their girlfriends, and I've just said something nasty about their girlfriend and they get really, really emotionally upset. This is not about that. Hopefully you can just see my kind of thought process behind it. Now, I have been talking a lot about ICP recently, and it's a different one, okay? And I know you're gonna be like, oh, ICP's a scam as well because of all this. Guys, I actually think that ICP is doing something really, really important, really exciting. And because of all the bad press it's kind of got going on right now, I love actually the coins that have got a lot of bad flack going on about them, because then they're undervalued right now, and people can change their tune very quickly. Okay, ICP still has a market cap in the sort of $1 billion plus region, but has the ability to perhaps do a 20, maybe even a 30x if things go really well for it. Okay, and I want to use Solana as an example here, alongside ICP, because Solana earlier on this year when I was making videos and it was worth about $8, everyone was telling me it was going to zero. Everyone was hating on it really badly, and the number of haters starts to ebb away as it starts to perform well. Okay, so all these coins that are getting like hated on right now, if suddenly you see ICP doing quite well, you will suddenly see all those haters just disappearing away. Okay, so, you know, stick to your convictions, guys. Do your own research, and if you like a coin or you like what's going on, then, you know, listen to other people's opinions, of course, important, but just, you know, start to have a bit of faith in yourself for things that you've done, because not everyone can be right. Okay, lots of people will hate something, lots of people will love another thing. Okay, it's all just opinion based. And as I've heard some famous people saying before, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone has one. On to the next ones. Ethereum, you know, guys, Ben Cowan standard. Okay, it's going to do well, potentially see a 5-6x if things go well. It's going to steal market share, and yes, it's expensive, and yes, it's slow, and yes, whatever, but the adoption on it's massive, and it still will be the daddy of the layer ones, as much as everyone hates it. Games for a living. Gaming itself, guys, gets me really pumped up and excited. Okay, games for a living is basically doing very similar stuff to what Gala's doing, but in a new way. A great team behind it, and what I like about it and why it gets higher up here than perhaps Gala will is because it's got a market cap that's significantly smaller. However, more recently, it has been up very high. I am anticipating a pullback that could potentially end up somewhere in this region here, retesting these previous highs. Okay, so somewhere around 1.8 cents, I think Games for a Living might drop down to, which would, from current prices, be a little bit of a drop, talking around 20%. I'm not saying that you go jump in and buy any of these coins right now without understanding maybe the chances of it pulling back to any particular region. Obviously, guys, if Bitcoin has a horrendous run, then you're going to see Games for a Living coming back down towards these levels, and then you have to be prepared to be in the red for a bit. But that's why you're in crypto, because if you're prepared to be in the red for a bit, then you might do very well. If you're not prepared to be in the red for a bit, then you're going to jump ship every time you wake up to a red day, and then you're just going to get wrecked anyway. Now, what else we got? Pepe, Carl the Moon. I'm really not that excited about Pepe. Might do well, guys. These meme coins might do well, but again, Pepe's had great exposure this year. It did really well during a period of time that Bitcoin was really boring. A lot of people will tend to jump onto stuff that might sound kind of exciting and whatever, but that's because they're just chasing their dopamine dreams, because they've just kind of got bored, and they just want to look for something new and exciting. That's why everyone gets stung for like stupid scams and stuff during the time the markets are quiet, because everyone's out there doing riskier stuff than normal. When the actual market starts moving, you don't have to do stuff that's risky, because you can kind of just make money by betting on pretty much anything. Gala, sorry, I forgot. Gala goes here, and a lot of people will be like, oh, Gala's a scam. Of course. I mean, Gala has had a bit of bad news recently, okay, which is obviously going to have a negative impact on the price, but again, that makes it undervalued, because that stuff fundamentally doesn't affect the ability of Gala to move forward. So I think Gala sits quite nicely around Ben Cowan. Some might say higher, some might say lower. I don't really care. Okay, Quant, guys, is an exciting project. It's doing some pretty amazing things, working with the Bank of England, working with other governments around the world to implement CBDCs. A lot of crypto purists don't like CBDCs. I'm not a crypto purist. Okay, I just want to make good investments that are going to see good return on investment, because that's all I'm here for. Okay, there's not that many coins that I'm like excited about what they're going to do, because yeah, they might have a positive impact on like how I do things in my life, but ultimately a lot of these coins are just vehicles for me to invest in and make money. Quant does have a big market cap, currently sat at $1 billion. But saying that, we've kind of been in this endless kind of like downtrend, which eventually will break. And actually, if we look at where we are right this second, you would see what happened last time we were kind of in this zone. Here and here, we had good rallies towards the upside. Potentially, you could see a rally at some point coming from this area for Quant, and currently a return back to this price that we saw back in October of 2022 last year. You're going to see 162%. Quant actually on the chart looks much better than a lot of the other coins we're talking about today, because it's just been trickling down, which has a lot of people who don't know what they're talking about saying this is a dead coin. But this really is just setting up for a buy zone, okay? When people lose interest, retail investors lose interest, they jump ship, which is why prices trickle towards the downside to a point at which big money says, okay, I'll buy it at that price, and then in like a week it goes up 162%. Axie Infinity, yeah, it's probably going to do all right, but I'm not particularly excited by it, guys. Yeah, gaming is going to do well, but it's a really exploding space. There's loads more games and competition coming in. It's difficult to kind of see a way of it kind of getting on and doing much more than that. Agix, I do like, okay, and I do also want to put Fetch AI. AI coins earlier on this year had an absolute booming success because AI suddenly pushed into the space and got very excited. However, a lot of the AI stuff, does it really need to be on chain? I'm undecided on whether or not this can really drive forward in the space, and therefore I'm not hedging too many bets on AI, especially in the crypto space right now in the market. We have seen good pumps. We will potentially see growth again. ZK Sync, zero knowledge roll-up stuff. Phenomenal, guys. In terms of like the tech behind ZK stuff, it is basically solving the blockchain trilemma. It's the future behind kind of blockchain technology, okay? It's a complex subject to discuss, and I have talked about it in other videos in more depth, but there's not really time to go into that in here. ZK Sync will have big market cap, okay? So it's probably not going to see the insane kind of 30-40x gains or more that many people are kind of anticipating and waiting for, but there's still kind of a good opportunity to go forward. And then we're just going to stick in here the House of Crypto, because I don't know what he's doing in here, but make sure you subscribe, guys. That's me telling you. Actually, that's unfair. I'm not Coin Bureau level. It's tough. I'm just going to put myself with Virtual Bacon, because, you know, I'm not going to be necessarily growing as fast as Coin Bureau, but I like to get up there. Maybe see like a 20x this year. And on to the next one. HBAR. Oof. Juicy. I know a lot of people are like, HBAR needs to be up here because of the governing council. I've got it, yeah. HBAR is got like a phenomenal governing council, and it's really kind of managed to capture the attention of lots of people. The way it works, its tech behind it, growing in terms of transactions, taking away market share from other layer ones. It's decent, but it has, again, big market cap. Will it perform to the level that many people think it's going to perform? I think, again, when you've got coins, everyone is blowing smoke up their ass and saying this coin's going to go to whatever. It tends not to happen, okay? The coins that kind of come out of the blue and just take everyone by surprise are the ones that I think are going to see the biggest growth, okay? And that, you know, in the last bull market, the likes of Gala did that, Sandbox did that, okay? Mana Decentraland, no one mentioned it, and then suddenly, bang, there it is, okay? Those are the coins that I think are going to perform well, ones that you've maybe not even heard of, that are not even on this chart yet, that are going to come out of the blue and just take everything by storm. When everyone is anticipating a coin going up, that means they've already bought. Okay, so the price right now, bearing in mind there's X amount of people who are in the crypto space and not new people entering the space, because no new people enter right this second very much. The coins that are already doing well won't be doing much better, okay? When new people enter the space, it will capture the imagination, which is how Casper just about gets up to Virtual Bacon. But just want to throw a quick warning out there and tell you that Casper is still very high, okay? I did make a video a few weeks back saying that when it was up here, there was a good chance of it pulling back. Since when I made that video, it's pulled back at one point down to around 18%, currently down 15%. I think if it does manage to return into this red box area, it's going to get sold off again, and it could potentially come back towards this zone here, which from current prices would be a further decline of around 23%. Now, it is also finding support on this band, but this is very much a bearish pattern, okay? Doesn't mean that it can't go up. I'm just anticipating that it probably won't. So Casper sits in here because of the story. You know, it's featured on the Ethereum white paper. It captured the imagination of lots of people. It was a fair launch. It doesn't have this massive token unlock, non-inflationary, blah, blah, blah going forward. Reasonable market cap on it though. So that's what doesn't put it up the top, guys. I know lots of people would want it to be there. What's this? Polygon, slow and steady wins race. But again, ZK Sync stuff coming in with Polygon, something worth looking at. Optimism roll up. Again, we're going with the ZK Sync stuff, goes in here. And then Maker. And then I heard about Maker from Virtual Bacon the other day. Okay, so guys, let's just have a quick look. Actually, I want to probably put H-bar back up there. Chainlink. Yeah. This doesn't mean necessarily that this is going to be like the 5x's and then this is the 10x's and this is the 20x's, okay? Basically, I've done like a risk to reward thing. So you'll probably see better gains return from XLM and AGIX than you will from Quant, but not in such a kind of a solid guaranteed risk to reward ratio. Okay, that's what I'm getting at there. Now, obviously, feel free to disagree with me. Get down in the comments, let me know. But ultimately, I just wanted to do something a little bit different and share with you what's going on. When it comes to a bull market, loads of coins going to do really well. If you don't know these coins, I recommend going and reading about each of them and learning what they do. It's going to be really useful for the future because lots of them do very different stuff from one another, and it's going to really help you because these are the coins everyone is talking about on YouTube. And just a really quick one, guys. If you're going to go and buy any coins like this, make sure you are not keeping them on exchanges and you're not keeping them in MetaMask and things like that. I actually got hacked for 500 bucks the other day from MetaMask, and that was done because I should just be keeping it in a hardware wallet. I have this one from Decent, which has a link for down below in the description. It has over 3,000 coins supported, so pretty much all the coins I talked about today will be featured, will be available there. I like it because you can connect via Bluetooth to an iPhone or an Android device using a fingerprint scanner, which is very cool, very James Bond. And this means that I don't have to take it with my laptop. If I've only got a mobile, it works. You don't need to plug it into anything, which is ultra secure. And in terms of the quality of the build, it's really nice, really solid as well. You can get a discount if you go through the link down below in the description, which you won't get anywhere else, guys. So make the most of using one of the top hardware wallets anywhere in the space. If you enjoyed that video, guys, hit the like button. If you're new, subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.